Position engage! It's the winter contingency.
He can't help us all.
Reach was just perfect. It was the perfect fit for all of the ideas that we were talking about in the early days. Doing something with a little bit of a harder edge than Halo 3, you know, bringing back the scariness and the alienness of the Covenant. All of those sort of dovetailed perfectly with Reach.
I think Halo Reach was the game we were trying to make from the beginning.
Reach is having so much to it. The campaign and the co-op and the DLC and the firefight. I mean, there's just so many elements to these games now.
We have this opportunity to look at the entire franchise, and we were like, okay, it's now our time to close out Bungie's contribution to the Halo universe. How are we going to do that in a way that does justice to this big thing that we created?
We're able to pick up the notepad and say, oh man, look at these 15 things that we crossed out we just couldn't do. And let's start there, and then let's see what else we can do as well on top of that.
Having a rich online experience, a rich set of services that we'd written ourselves, bring deeper immersion into our campaign and our cinematics.
Mocap became integral into all of our gameplay animation systems. If you look back on the whole series, our animation system actually had pretty much been the same. We hit this point where we just said to ourselves, I think it's time now to take animation into that next generational leap.
We had to figure out how to create high-res models, approaching the art from a whole different point of view. Like with Reach, it was, let's make it much grungier and dirtier, like these guys have been in the shit.
We wanted to pull the helmets off all the Spartans, and we wanted to get to know each one of those Spartans up close and personal. They needed to be human.
Reach has been good to me. Time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this.
Really make sure they conveyed that emotion. You see that literally on their faces.
You want to know if we're losing?
I know we're losing. I want to know if we've lost.
Reach was the ultimate Halo game.
The biggest Halo game we had ever made, the most exciting Halo game we had ever made. It was absolutely liberating to no longer be tied to the storylines from Halo 1, 2, and 3, to sort of know that we were making a standalone.
I don't think you can make a good game these days without taking into account all elements of it.
What else can we do with Halo that we haven't done yet?
Well done, Noble Six. Uppercut initiated.
Firefight, invasion, armor abilities, even the ability to sprint in a map started changing really fundamentally how the game played. And then with Firefight and Invasion, really seeing like what could we do with this game that we love so much, like what direction could we push it in where we were excited to play it.
God bless Steve Cotton for Forge World. He's like given the task, hey, let's build the ultimate Forge experience, which at that time was much smaller. Before you knew it, we had this incredible space. Steve was like, he believed in it, and he was so excited about it, and he couldn't help but to like look at it and go, God, I believe in that too.
I think anyone that played Reach and was a fan of Halo, I think felt a sense of completion. I look at that final sequence with, the helmet sitting there shattered and, the world around. I mean, it actually, it reminded me of that first moment when I saw Halo at E3.
I was more proud of Reach than I was of like any game I've ever worked on.
With ODST, with Reach, in ways that we haven't revealed yet, we absolutely learned important things from all of those games.
How does it feel to finally be launching this game?
Feels better than we ever thought it was going to be. I mean, we're super excited to have this game finally get out there in the hands of our fans.
And the reviews are out online. People are loving this game. They're saying it's the best Halo game you guys have ever created.
The last 10 years have been a whirlwind of creative construction of an amazing universe, building huge teams, nearly burning out a couple times, and ultimately leading to something like Halo Reach that, to me, was all of the right things put together. Like, that was a great way to end the Halo series. That was the perfect way to do it.
There was always a culture of reflection and not being satisfied with something just being okay, with really feeling like it has to be great.
At the end of every production, they draw on a whiteboard a plane that's on fire, and then the analogy is you've got to land, right? Like, this sucker's got to land sooner or later, but you've also got to think about what's most vital to the experience. If you hold on to everything in the back of the plane, all your dreams, all your hopes, all your aspirations, you're gonna blow up. So you've got to eventually get light and land that sucker.
There's a lot of great stuff that was almost cut. The shotgun was almost cut. But, you know, good is never good enough for Bungie.
Everybody cares. Everybody sits in the same big pit, and we're all in it together, and it's a good feeling.
The people here are really critical. It's really hard to impress them. Yet, the best part is how much fun it is to work with them.
We've joked about it as a three-ring circus. Sometimes the spotlight shifts around. Everything is really active at all times.
As we get better at doing things, we also keep biting off more and more and more, meaning that we're always on the verge of tackling something too big and falling on our faces.
There's always this moment where everything just comes together, it all coalesces, and the effects guy goes like, here's what I've been working on for 18 months, bam, and it just all self-assembles, almost as if it's a sentient being.
There's a reason I'm loyal. I didn't know I was a first-person shooter until I played Halo. I put my faith in Bungie.
No matter what, that's who Bungie is. We're always going to make what we want to make, and we're going to make it a game that we want to play.
I've been there. I've seen the noses to the grindstones. I know what's going on. I know that they're working hard. I know that they're passionate.
I wanted to make sure that the fans know that we did Halo because we wanted to do Halo, and we did the ODST because we wanted to do ODST, and we did Reach because we wanted to do Reach. But now we want to do something brand new, and now we want to do something different.
I can't wait to share with the fans what we're working on.
We are moving on. We're building something new, something totally different.
Looking forward, everything needs to be invented. Everything has to be created from scratch. There are no characters that are returning because all the characters are new. It's really exciting to be part of such a big team working on something brand new.
Bungie's next project is obviously incredibly ambitious and incredibly exciting. You know, a new world, a new universe. There's a scale to what Bungie wants to do, which people have not seen before.
We feel responsible for not just telling an isolated story, but for building a universe that at some point is going to become more the fans than ours. It's going to take a life of its own.
We don't know what the future holds. We have to push past that self-doubt and that fear.
If it's not scary, then it's not going to be good.
We have other ideas. We have other, worlds that we want to create.
We want to build a universe where any crazy shit can happen.
We've got all that experience making really big games, so we know that what we're aiming for is going to be just that much bigger.
One reason that Tiger is so intriguing to so many people in the studio is that it's reaching players in ways that we haven't before.
That's it. That's gonna be fun. Clear the fucking table.
I believe that it absolutely will be a game changer in the way that Halo was a game changer.
We didn't even know how big Halo was going to get. How can anything be bigger than Halo? We'll find out.